Hi everyone, my name's Anne-Marie. Welcome to this card making project. In this project we're going to use quite an array of Anna Griffin products to make a gorgeous floral card. Everything I do use I shall put in a detailed list on my blog, so please check my blog for all the items, and then if you've got anything to say you can feel free to say it on my blog or on Facebook where I can get back to you. I just can't reply on YouTube. Okay, so we're going to start off with our base card. This is my favourite size of card, and it's a 7x5 inch card in ivory, and I just feel that this size is the perfect size to make cards with because it's just not too big and not too small, whether you're advanced or a beginner. So I'm going to use my trusty bone folder from the Anna Griffin tool set to make sure I've got a nice sharp score along the edge, because even though the cards are scored in a factory, it's just nice to make sure you've got a professional finish and make it a little bit sharper so that when it stands up it's got that nice sharp fold. So the inside of our card, for some of you this is the most important bit now, because I've had so many messages about people, from people saying how much they adore the ideas for the insides, so thank you very much. So the first thing I'm going to do is I've taken another piece of ivory card and I've cut it just slightly smaller than the inside of the card itself. I've tapped a black ink pad all the way around the edge and I've stamped the words thank you at one side of the actual insert. And the word thank you is from the favourite sentiment, sorry it isn't, it's from the sentiment stamps and die set. So I've got double-sided tape on the back, and all I'm simply going to do is peel off the double-sided tape, and I'm going to pop the insert inside of the card like that, leaving the little bit of layer around the edge, and you can just very faintly see the black edge where I've tapped it with the ink pad. So next I've used the fancy flourish dies, and I've die cut one in black, and I've run it through my Xyron machine to get the adhesive on the back of it. And then I'm using the 3D flower dies from Anna, and I've used the lovely layers, and I've just cut two of the layers for the lily, and this was the middle and the smaller section of the die. So I'm going to peel off the flourish from the carrier sheet, and I'm simply going to stick that just at the side of the words thank you. There we go, just press that down. And then the two lilies that I've also taken through the Xyron, I'm going to just add on top of the flourish, and the smaller one I'm just going to add on top of the medium one. Now the smaller one I did use an ink pad just on the tips of the petals, just to give it a little bit more colour. And that's the inside of our card finished. So we've got enough room for a nice message, your to and from, etc. And obviously our stamp word thank you. Now I think this card is a great one for teachers, for this time of year, for when we're having to say thank you for things. Maybe you've been invited to a christening or a barbecue and you've had a good time, you want to just say thank you very much. Or maybe somebody's done something for you and you're just wanting to say thanks, that was great. So the outside of our card, you've just seen me use my bone folder again, just to make sure that that edge is still nice and sharp. And my first layer I'm going to add on the front is a complete black layer. Now I know sometimes we're very frugal with our layers and we cut out the inner section. I just haven't on this occasion. Not for any particular reason, probably because I'm a bit forgetful and I should have done. So it's just nothing to worry about, I just haven't done on this occasion. But if you're feeling economical, you could take that section out, because we're going to cover it with something else, and you wouldn't know. So our next layer is from the lovely layers from Anna, the 7x5" in size, and I've just slightly trimmed this, and I've got double-sided tape on the back of it, and I'm simply going to position it over the top of the black layer, like so. There we go. And so that black layer gives it a nice border around the edge, and I think it just makes the colours on that lovely layer stand out. So next, what we're going to do is I've die cut some of the lilies. Now this was the larger die cut of the flowers, flower dies from Anna, and I've die cut 4 of them, and I've used Anna's silver foil cardstock, and you can see that they've embossed as well. Now if you have a problem with your embossing, just take them through again with your embossing mat if they don't emboss with the first pass. I know a lot of you have got Anna's Cuttlebug, so obviously you use the plates that you need for that, and then if you find that you need to emboss them to get that fine detail, take them through again with your embossing mat and work out what sandwich you need. I've got a Sizzix, so I take mine through in my cutting plates, and then I take it back through again to emboss them. So those are the lilies, and what I'm going to do is I've taken them through my Xyron machine just for the adhesive, and I'm going to position the 4 of them down the centre of the card. Now this is when I said about the idea for a background. This, I think, is just something a little bit different, and you're using your dies again to a different capacity, so kind of getting 2 for 1 out of them, because we know you can make the flowers from them, but this is just a little bit of a different idea. So we've positioned 4 flowers down the centre. Now they don't hang off the edge, they're just simply positioned all the way down. And then I've got a sheet of black cardstock, and I've got red tape on the back of it, and I'm simply going to add this down the centre of my card, hoping that I get it straight-ish. And then I've got a piece of the lovely layers cardstock, the same as we've used for the background. Again, I've got red tape on it, and I'm simply just going to position that over the top of the black cardstock that we've just run through the centre. There we go. Just making sure I've got that nice touch of border behind it. There. So we've got the flowers on the background, and then we've got a centre strip down the centre of the card. So next, I've die cut 4 flourishes from the Fancy Flourish die set, 2 in the metallic pink and 2 in black. Now the metallic pink is from the metallic layers from Anna in the 7x5 size, and I've taken them all through the Xyron machine, and I'm just going to simply add a pink one at the top, and then a black one just at one side, and then at the opposite side I'm going to add the pink at the bottom, like so, and then the black towards the top. There we go. Now don't worry if you haven't got a Xyron machine, you would still have different sections on the flourishes at the back that you could add your glue, and you could still use them. So there, we've added our 4 flourishes. So I've not really added them symmetrically or anything, because you know I like my symmetrical cards. So I've just popped those on, just so that they're in the different places on the card. Now next, what I've done is I've got one of Anna's favourite sentiment stickers, and this says many thanks. And on the back of it, where it's the sticker, I've peeled the sticker paper away, the carrier sheet, and I've added 3D foam at either side, so that way it will sit proud on the card front across the centre strip like that. And then I've made, using the 3D flower dies and the silver cardstock and the lovely layers, I've made some lilies. Now I know they're not the lifelike lily, but I've used the layers. I've used 3 of the flower layers, and then I have used a little palm punch to make a centre for them. You could use so many different things for your centre. You could use a tiny circle, you could use flower soft, you could use paper quilling. A nice paper quilling centre would look great. So there's so many different things you could do for the centre, but just on this occasion I've used a tiny palm punch, and it wasn't one of Anna's, it was just one that I got from a local craft store. So they're quite inexpensive with the tiny little palm punches, and they do make good centres for flowers. So I know on one of Anna's larger sets that she has, that's not in the UK yet, there are a lot of options for centres of flowers, so you might have those and you could use those. You can see I've embossed the actual layers, and I've just got double-sided tape on the back of these just to be able to stick them down onto the card. So I've made 3 of them. I think I did say I'd made 3. And I'm just going to add them to the front like that. Not in any particular area. I'm not trying to be, you know, symmetrical with them or anything. I think we'll pop that one there. And then to finish our card, I've just got a tiny little silver bow, and I'm just going to place it to one side of the sentiment like that. And that is our card finished. Something a little bit different, something nice and floral. You can see the shine from the cardstock on that silver cardstock. Just looks so pretty. The inside matches perfectly. A nice way to say thank you. Stands up nicely. A definite mantelpiece pleaser. And it just catches anybody's eye. It'll go in a normal envelope, but you might just want a little bit of bubble wrap just to protect those flowers. I do hope you've enjoyed watching. Please check out my blog. There's so many different projects on there. There's bound to be something for everybody. And don't forget, this week Anna is actually in the UK on QVC on the 25th of July and the 26th of July, and that's 2018. So check the times and be sure to watch, and I'm sure you'll be thrilled with the items that she's bringing. I know for one I can't wait to see her. So thank you for watching, and I shall see you next time.